Hey YouTube believers, Chris Mack coming at you with two action figures that I've been itching to review since I picked them up. Today we are going over the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Colossus Build-A-Figure Waves Magneto and Rogue. And I wanted to do this as a set. Why? We'll get into that here in a moment, but I'm thankful that I was able to finally pick up the whole wave. I was looking at Walmart just doing a grocery run, and I just went by the toy section and found the entire wave, and I was just like, yeah, this is mine. Speaking of, if you guys do want to pick these up, first and foremost, support your local comic shop and see if they have this wave in stock. If not, then I saw that they are available on Big Bad Toy Store as well as Dork Side Toys. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging before we move on. We'll start with Magneto here. And I love that they put the Age of Apocalypse logo on there, just like with the Sugar Man wave. You see that says Colossus there. Glad that they kept that same X-Men logo from that time period. Figure looks amazing. Cannot wait to look at it. The Magneto here, he looks decent. As I said with the Sugar Man wave, I wish this looked more like from the era from Andy Kubrick's, or was it Adam Kubrick? One of the two. But it is what it is. You got to have your own renditions. I'm glad they kept the Apocalypse look there, especially since they finally did release that deluxe wave. Come back here. Cool product shot. Read up and get a close-up so you can look at that at your convenience. Same with the figures from the wave that you need to build Colossus. Come back around this way. Same artwork. Nothing on the bottom. And then we just looked at the top. Now let's look at Rogue. So again, X-Men, Marvel's Rogue, Colossus, Age of Apocalypse. I like the way she looks here because, you know, she's getting ready to take off her glove and drain someone's power. So I think that looks really cool. Come around to the back. Same, not product shot as I just said, but artist rendition. Looks cool. Read up, get a close-up so you can look at that at your convenience. Same with the figures, just in case. Come back around this way. Same Rogue, no bottom. We just looked at the top. So with that said, I'm itching to look at both these figures posed. So let's get them out and get a closer look. And here's Rogue and Magneto out of the packaging. And as you can see, just look absolutely phenomenal together. I'm so glad that we got another Age of Apocalypse wave. I know there's people are saying why. But for me, I'm biased because some of my happiest memories from my childhood is me and my buddy Glenn. We grew up in a town where there was really no comic shops, and there was a couple that would come and go. So there was one that kind of stayed open for a while, and my mom would take us every weekend, and that's when they started releasing the Age of Apocalypse comics. So him and I would buy these and read them together, and so that just takes me back to a happy time, and it's just nice to finally have tangible figures from that timeline. Now, for these figures, there's a lot to love. There's maybe one or two things that's really going to chap your butt and frost you. So with that said, let's get them off the spinner and get a closer look at them. The first appearance of the Age of Apocalypse, Magneto and Rogue, was X-Men Alpha #1 from February 1995. And when we're first introduced to them, they are already married, and they have a child named Charles, which is named after Xavier and the memory of his fallen friend. The grief of Xavier given his life for his, Magneto carries Xavier's dream of a better future and creates a home for the X-Men in the Wundagore Mountains in X-Men Chronicles #1 from March 1995. And this kind of takes place before Apocalypse took over the Earth. There, Rogue was put in Magneto's care by Mystique. She wanted Rogue safe as Apocalypse had been trying to abduct her and because of her inability to touch people. In this timeline, Rogue had absorbed the powers of Polaris instead of Carol Danvers. So Rogue's able to fly, but that's because she's able to sort of warp Earth's magnetic field. Rogue feels guilt and a deep sense of commitment to Magneto after she was unable to save Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, from being murdered by Nemesis. Nemesis later becomes Holocaust after being murdered in revenge by Magneto. This is kind of brought up in Astonishing X-Men #2. Later in X-Men Chronicles #2 from June 1995, Rogue is Magneto's second-in-command. Gambit is madly in love with her, and he doesn't know how to tell her. So this kind of causes a rift between the two of them. Later in the book, Magneto reveals to Rogue that she can touch him if he creates a magnetic field around himself. This breaks Gambit's heart and destroys his friendship with Eric, and ultimately he leaves the X-Men. But that's kind of how these two finally sort of fall in love, have the child, and then move into the X Mansion, or what's left of it later down the road. So if you haven't read those books, highly recommended. So with that said, let's go ahead and look at the accessories that these characters come with. So as you can kind of see, I'm glad that they gave Magneto a helmetless, like, you know, maskless face. That's really cool. Rogue comes with her Absorption Hands, which I kind of wish they would have given her one gloveless hand, kind of like they did with the original Rogue. That would have been a nice addition. But, you know, she has both of them. They look good. She also comes with punching hands, which again are yellow. They match her hands very nice. Fingers look good. Thankful for those. And then what I like is with Magneto, he comes with another helmet. And I have to say that this one I like a lot. I like the long hair that Eric had in the Age of Apocalypse. I like the way that was braided in the front. I'm glad that the eyes are whited out, as where the helmetless one has pupils. This one does not. And it doesn't have like that anger face like with the love triangle one, which was kind of but I really like this head sculpt the most out of all of it. The hair looks good. You know, has that old school gray to it because, you know, he's supposed to be older than his X-Men. He also comes, oop, there goes Rogue. He has open hands so that you can put power effects in it, and he also comes with fisted hands, which I'm always glad for. Both look good. I like that the leather contours the way that gloves should. That's good stuff there. He also comes with these power effects, which we've seen 1,000 times with other characters. The only thing I wish, though, is if you look at the Wanda from the what is that one called? The Family Matters 3-pack or whatever it is. It has her, Quicksilver, and Magneto. Hers sparkled, so I kind of wish that they would have done something different with this Magneto's. But still, just to be able to have two of these, because there's one and a two, I'm thankful for them nonetheless. Because whenever you can get accessories, that's always a welcomed addition. Especially since what we saw with the Sugar Man wave, how those characters really didn't have a whole lot of accessories. So with these, I'll take them where I can get them. Now, in terms of paint apps, Rogue, I think she looks good. The only thing is, yeah, she had big hair like this, but it just kind of reminds me of like a sheep herder dog where like the hair gets down in their eyes and whatnot, and they're just always like, and so it kind of really takes away from the nice green eyes that Rogue has. Not too much, because that's kind of how her hair looked in the Age of Apocalypse, but it just kind of bugs that it's just so damn big, but I'll let it go. The lipstick looks good. The flesh tones look great. Love that long brown hair, because she had it kind of in that loop bow cut from the 90s. Looks good. I never understood why all the characters had like these metal rings around their thing. I guess it was just something that looked different, kind of like paramilitary in a sense. So I'll let it go. The only thing with Rogue, though, is like with Magneto, she had a blue cape. I kind of wish that they would have given her one. Now, I know you can take other Marvel Legends figures and put one on her, but it's just like, how much harder was it to, you know, you gave her the peg, so damn it, where's the cape? Whatever. The yellows look good. The greens look exactly comic accurate. Bracelets look good. Yellows look good. I'm also glad that, at least on mine, I was watching another review from, I think it was X-Manny86, and he was talking about how he was having a hard time having his paint apps line up. So I'm glad with mine that for the most part they do line up. The only thing that will chap me in terms of collectability is how you move her leg and how this happens. It's sort of like, damn it, I wish there was a way that they can make that look like how it's supposed to when you twist the leg. But whatever, I'll forgive it, because it has pinless legs, and we'll get into that in the articulation, but I saw that, and it's so nice to not see peg holes there. I like the ruby, I don't know if it's supposed to be ruby, but the red dots there on the boots. Yellow looks good. Her feet feel a little big to me, but I'll let that go because it really does help her stand. But overall, her paint apps are gorgeous. That pinlessness really helps with making this look more natural. Magneto, as I was talking about just a moment ago, this face sculpt does have pupils. The flesh color looks good. Gray hair looks great. I like how it flows naturally over the cape. One thing I am thankful for the cape is you don't have to worry about trying to fight that stupid plug. I mean, they gave him the plug on his back, but not on the cape. So at least when you pop it off, you don't have to worry about trying to fight that. Love the purple here with all the pegs, studs, whatever you want to call them. Looks good. I'm glad that the shoulder pads are on the cape, so I don't know. Some people may prefer it to be on the figure, but I guess it's just personal preference, and your mileage may vary on whom you are. The reds look great. Love the bracers. Hands look good, as we just talked about a moment ago. Cape, ripples in all the right places. It is soft plastic, so you can kind of bend it. If you warm it up, you can bend it more. And I like that they didn't really shirk on the red all around. It looks good. Same thing with the purples. He has like the old school Magneto boots there. Just overall, these paint apps look great on these two figures. There's not a whole lot to complain about with that. The articulation, on the other hand, there's a few things to be desired. For articulation, let's go ahead and start with Rogue. Now, one thing, when they kind of gave her that bow haircut in the Age of Apocalypse, it really helps the figure because you can get her to look up. I mean, look at that. That is so freaking awesome. That just helps immensely. Same thing with looking down. Her bangs really don't get in the way. Her bangs, whatever, the way the hair floops. Let's go with that floops. There's a lot of play, so you get some swivel like that. She can look this way, look that way. Arms do go up that way, and let's focus. The camera's like, hey, let's just not get the depth that we need here. And then, of course, if you take the arm this way, goes that way, and then, spin it this way. I'm so glad that they gave you that. She does have the elbow swivel here. Now, this is where, with Rogue, that I get pissed off. They've released many different characters, both male and female, and they decide to stick you with single-jointed elbows again. That they need to take that mold and just, piss off with it and give us double-jointed, because that's what we've gotten used to, and it helps with photography. This, unfreaking acceptable. But because I like this figure, I'm going to let it go. Hands do spin that way. They go up, they go down. She does twist at the rib cage, I guess you could say. Yeah, whatever. So she has nice range there. She has some great spinach there. Now, one thing I did forget to mention at the beginning, before you do any articulation, please first and foremost warm up your figures. If not, you're going to have a bad time. If something is stiff, it's going to snap off, and you're going to be like, crap. Again, I wish there's something hindering it, and I don't know if it's just because of the joint, but she can't do the full splits, which is kind of like, come on, let's stop with that. She does have the upper thigh cut. As I mentioned a moment ago, I love that there's the pinless legs. It just helps make the legs look more natural. I mean, yeah, she has double jointed knees, which is awesome, but if this was like just a regular bare leg, that would look so unnatural with all the little crevices there, which I know it's hard to get around when you want that articulation, so it is what it is. She can kick out that far, and then she falls victim to the butt flap again, which I wish Hasbro would pay attention to McFarlane, how he makes the butt flap soft, so that when you do, there she goes, so when you do this, the leg's not having to go off to the side, so it is what it is there. She doesn't have an upper, or, boot cut, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Foot go up that way, foot go down that way, and ankle pivots. So articulation-wise, the only thing that really frosts me on Rogue is the single-jointed elbows. Magneto, one thing that really surprises me on this character, it's with the head. So, he can look down that much, and his ponytails really don't mess with it that way. His hair is soft, and, you get a lot of play in the neck joint. So I'm glad that even though he has that long hair, it's kind of soft, so you can at least get him to look semi-up, which is not bad. I mean, it could be better, but it's better than what we get with a lot of characters. Same thing when you twist it this way, fighting the ponytails and the hair in the back, you can at least get him to look side to side. Thankful for that. And because the cape is loose, you can move his arms 360. Again, warm this character up, because this one, for whatever, his arms were super freaking tight, and I had to warm these up so that I could at least get him to lift his arms up. I was afraid of snapping it when I first got it out of the box. Single that high, all around. Good stuff there. Upper bicep. And then, double jointed elbows. Hand spins 360. Hand go down. Hand go up. Does have an ab crunch. And with Rogues, because she spins here, she can kind of go up and down too, so thankful for that. Does spin at the waist as well. And just like with Rogue, I remember there were some Marvel Legends where you could pull their legs all the way out, and it's just like, why are we hindering that? That is so frustrating. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Foot go down. Foot go up. Swivels. Kick out that far. And again, victim to the butt flap. So one of these days, I really hope that Hasbro will wake up from that and realize that that butt flap thing is real freaking irritating. So overall, there are, like I said, a few things that are going to piss you off, but still, I'm glad we have the articulation that we have for both of these figures. Now for some comparisons, here is our Colossus Build-A-Figure Wave Earth 295 Colossus Lovebirds of Rogue and her husband Magneto, alongside their Earth 616 husband and wife. Yes, before the whole Dawn of X, they actually did get married. This is the Retro Wave carded Rogue. This is the Caliban Build-A-Figure Wave Gambit. And then they just kind of sorted it all out. I wanted to throw that deluxe Apocalypse there in the back. And then because in the Earth 616, when Rogue originally joined the X-Men, Wolverine took her under his wing and kind of raised her. So I thought it was kind of, poignant to put the Age of Apocalypse Weapon X version here from the Sugarman Build-A-Figure Wave. And as you can see, all these figures together, they look absolutely gorgeous. You put these on a shelf, guys, and you're going to just look at them and be like, those are so beautiful. I'm glad I got each and every one of them. Same here. I look at them this way and I'm like, man, I'm glad, at the time I was like, do I really need it? The answer is yes. Yes, I did. Because both of these backstories, her absorbing Carol Danvers' powers and getting the strength and flight, as where in the Age of Apocalypse, she absorbed the powers of Polaris. So in a way, she kind of has similar powers to Magneto. It's just a really different dynamic, and why I love this story, why I love the original story, and I love these figures. I enjoy photographing every single one of them. Let me know what you guys think of each and every one of these figures down in the comments. Overall, I love what they did with these figures. As I said at the beginning of the review, I'm thankful to continue getting tangible Age of Apocalypse figures. Really throws me back to when I was in 6th grade back in '95. Oh boy. But yeah, this was a special time for comics. This was definitely one of the apex of their events. It was different enough. They took their time. All the books were engaging. None of them really were boring. You read one, you want to keep continuing on. And so just to see how they sculpted these and then do their best to make them look comic accurate, spectacular. Aside from some of the typical Hasbro molding, which chaps my ass, and the only other thing that I wish is that they would have given Rogue her cape. Now, I know that you can replace them with certain Marvel Legend figures. I'm going to try to find one because she definitely deserves a cape, just like how Magneto got his, but that's just that aside. I also liked in Age of Apocalypse that they made them a couple. It really kind of threw back to what Chris Claremont was kind of doing with these two in the Savage Land, and they were kind of teasing at how Magneto could control her mutant absorption power. So anyway, overall, guys, these are definitely going to be figures you want to get in your collection. Just as I said at the beginning of the review, please first and foremost check with your local comic shop. If not, you can check the other places that I mentioned as well. If you have enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little apocalypse bell next to subscribe, that way we can continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next, and I hope y'all Continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.